Hi, I'm Sandy Power, the Director of Financial Aid, and welcome to MCTC. We're starting out as a new student and we're talking to you today about how to be successful. And so I want to give you a few tips about how to be successful in financial aid land as well. Because believe it or not, there are a few rules that you have to follow when you get financial aid. So today let's talk about that. And you have a handout with you, and I want you to keep it for your records and refer back to it if you ever have any questions about eligibility requirements and different financial aid programs. So if you want to get that out now, we'll go over a few of those things. So with all financial aid programs, there are eligibility requirements, including the number of credit hours you can take and what GPA you have to get and your completion rate. So let's just talk about a few of those. So how many of you here are getting KEYS money? Okay, that's a few of you. So that KEYS money requires you to keep a 3.0 GPA. So that's a B average. So if you get an A in one class and a C in another class at the end of the semester, you're still at a 3.0 and you're going to be okay. Just remember, to keep all of your KEYS money, you have to keep a 3.0 GPA, a B average. And if you fall below that and you end up in like the 2.5, 2.75 GPA range, you can still get some of your KEYS money. It's just going to be reduced a little bit. So always go for the A. I tell every student that, and you need to know that too. Go for the A grade so that you can keep your financial aid eligibility healthy. Also for KEYS money, you have to be in at least 6 credit hours. So typically for Maysville, that's 2 classes. So you want to keep a level of 6 credit hours and a B average for KEYS money. Other state aid programs are the same. CAP grant, you have to keep a C average to keep that, and you have to be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours to get the CAP grant. And the one way you can make sure that you get CAP grant every semester is by doing your FAFSA early. And this is another thing you need to know. The first day that you can do the FAFSA is October the 1st. So every year in October, that first week, we expect to see you in the office, at the kiosk, or in our office. We'll help you do the FAFSA, and that ensures that you get the most aid available to you. Another program with the state is called Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship Program. Now that is mainly for students who didn't qualify for typical financial aid like Pell Grant or CAP Grant. You could maybe qualify for the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship if you're in a high wage, high demand field. And that's pretty much everything we have here, with the exception of the Associate in Arts and Associate in Science degree. If you didn't get enough aid to cover everything, you need to talk to us about that scholarship, because it pays all your tuition and most of your fees. It is an unbelievable time to be a college student in Kentucky, because I've been in this job for 26 years and I've never seen as much aid available to students. So if you don't have enough aid to cover your bill, definitely come and see one of us in the financial aid office and we'll help you. Okay, let's talk about federal programs. With the Pell Grant, a lot of students will tell you, oh, you got to be full-time to get that Pell Grant. No, you do not have to be full-time. You can take 1 credit hour and possibly qualify for Pell Grant. So make sure, if you've got a heavy schedule, that you're talking with your advisor and working that out so that you take the classes that you need to be successful, and not burden yourself with too much if you're worried about financial aid. That should not be a concern. For federal loan program, you have to be in at least 6 credit hours to get federal loans. And for all of these federal programs, you have to maintain a C average. So we're not asking too much of you. We just want you to be average. Always go for the A grade. But just know that if something happens, because often life happens, for me it was statistics, for you it may be something else, but you want to make sure that you go for the A grade and try to at least keep a C average to keep your financial aid healthy. So now let's talk about the bad stuff with financial aid. There is a process called Return to Title IV that happens whenever students withdraw from their classes. Title IV is the fund at the Department of Ed where all your federal dollars come from. So let's say that you started class, you received federal aid, and then something happened and you needed to withdraw. Just know that we have to do a calculation when that happens. So if you sign up for 4 classes and you don't realize any success, so you haven't successfully completed any classes, we have to go back and look how much of the semester did you attend. If you attended at least 60% of the semester, you will not owe anything back. But let's say for some reason you didn't, and it was at midterm that you had to drop, and so you didn't successfully complete 60% of the classes you attempted. Then we do a calculation, we reach out to your professors, we find out when the last day you attended was, and then from there we do a calculation. So if we have to write a check back to the Department of Ed, guess who ends up paying for that? That's right, that's you. So you will end up with the liability. So you don't want that to happen. So let's say life happens and you think, I can't complete all these classes. I signed up for 4. I'm not going to be successful in 4. Well, go and talk to a success coach, go and talk to your advisor, and see if maybe you can manage to complete successfully 1 class or 2 classes out of your 4. Anything to prevent you from having to return dollars to the feds is going to be better for you, better for us, better for your long-term financial aid health. So just if you see that that's going to happen, please don't hesitate to stop, come in the office, talk to one of us, and ask us about the ramifications of dropping a class. It's very important, and I want you to be aware of what possibly could happen. So one more thing, that's not really a bad thing, it's just you need to know, is called SAP, and that stands for Satisfactory Academic Progress. And what that means is you have to maintain a certain GPA, a certain completion rate, to keep your federal financial aid healthy. So for SAP GPA requirements, that is a 2.0, and that's a C grade. So as long as you keep a C grade, you have maintained the standards and you're okay. Also, completion rate. If you successfully complete 67% of the classes you attempt, you're good. So if you were signed up for 4 classes and you withdrew from 1, you failed 1, you got an A in 1 and a B in 1, what do you think your completion rate's going to be? That's right, it's going to be 50% because you were only successful in 2 out of 4 classes. So that is below our standard. Our standard is 67%. So you just want to be aware that it's a cumulative calculation. So if you withdraw from 1 class in the fall or another class in the spring, just know that at the end of every semester we're calculating that, and you will get a status update about your SAP. So at the end of every semester, after we do the calculation, grades have been turned in, you're going to get a notification that will tell you what your SAP status is. You get 1 semester as a warning if you fail to meet the standards, and then the next semester, if you don't get it up above the standards, then you fail to make satisfactory academic progress and you lose your financial aid eligibility. Now we know life happens. The Department of Ed knows that life happens. So we build in an appeal process if life happens to you and you are unsuccessful. And you can submit an appeal with documentation about what happened, and a committee made up of faculty and staff review that, and they let you know if you get approved. But the best way to avoid the appeal process, is just to stay financial aid healthy by maintaining the standards. So again, that's a 2.0 and a 67% completion rate. If you do those things, you're going to be good. Another calculation for SAP is called maximum time frame, and that just is a calculation of where you're at in earning your degree. So the Department of Ed gives you 150% of the credits you need to finish your degree. So if you're going for a 2-year degree, it's going to be about 60 credit hours. Okay, so 150% of 60 is going to be 90 credit hours. So we want you to be able to finish your program of study within 90 credit hours. Most of you are going to have no problem doing that. If you're coming to us from another school and you've transferred credits in, just be aware that that counts in that calculation, so you may have an issue. And if you've got personal questions about that, please come and see one of us and we can look up your record and let you know. The other thing for federal financial aid is something you'll see us throw around called program applicability. That just means that we want to ensure that you only take the classes you need to graduate. First of all, most of us don't have a bunch of extra money laying around to pay for college, so we don't want to charge you extra. We want you to only take the classes you need to graduate. So financial aid will only pay for those classes that you need within your program. So let's say some of you may be going for two different programs. You may be getting a diploma and you also want to earn another certificate in your area of study. That's fine. You just have to let us know that. But if you're in nursing and you want to take an HVAC class, that's not going to work. You just want to take classes that you need for your program, and that's all financial aid will pay for. And any questions you have about that, you can reach out to us and we'll let you know. So those are the main things I wanted to tell you about to keep your financial aid healthy. I also want to let you know that we're here, we're available to you. You can go to the financial aid team webpage and make an appointment to see the financial aid counselor on any campus you attend. You can reach out to me anytime. Our information is included on the handout that you got. So just be sure if you have any questions, we're here to help you. Financial aid can be super confusing. Even sometimes we're confused, but we'll help you work through it. We want to be there for you. So I hope you have a great semester and good luck. Thank you.